Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's filled with love and joy and happiness and lots of good cheer.
Alright, so I'm literally scooped in bed. I ain't feeling these treatments, y'all. I'm currently taking the Retux right now. I don't feel anything but tired. One, I didn't get no sleep last night. Two, they give you Tylenol and Benadryl before you start the procedure. And then they gave me 125 milligrams worth of steroids. Do you know how even 10 milligrams is 125? So that's the bag. He comes check it about every 30 to 45 minutes to see if I'm having a reaction, how I'm feeling, and then if I'm not, then he bumps it up. But yeah, I'm so sleepy. So I'm about to try to rest. Yeah, I'm just about to try to rest. I know they want to do another, my lung doctors came in here and they want to do another lung test, well, not lung test, but 6-minute walk. He wants to see how much oxygen I'm actually using when I'm walking, and that's going to determine if he's going to send me to an inpatient rehab center or home. They said my lung disease is not getting any better, which we all knew that. I knew that. I could tell you guys that it's gradually been getting worse, but this last year or so, it's just then gotten really, really worse. So, yeah.
And to get you as good as they can in preparation for transplanting you if and when they can. They wondered if I could help with any aspects of management of your pulmonary hypertension.
Okay.
You know, these drugs don't do anything to change the underlying disease process, which is this lupus, which is scarring your lungs up so badly. But if we can do anything that makes it easier for you to stay well and do a little better for a little longer, that's the main purpose of these medicines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much are you able to do as far as activity goes right now? CT scan is just getting worse and worse and worse. Now, I understand that you're labeled as a lupus, but your esophagus looks a lot more like sort of a mixed connective tissue disease. I presume you're sleeping with the head of the bed up and you're not eating or drinking for 2 hours before you go to sleep at night?
No, they never really told me anything about that. I just had the wrap around the esophagus, but they never really talked about my esophagus.
Okay. What I would like you to do, if you don't mind, is gravity is your friend, okay? If your esophagus is above your tummy, then it will be easier for the esophagus to drain and less likely for food or acid from your stomach to end up in your lungs. And your esophagus is just this big old dilated pipe, basically. The esophagus itself makes mucus and stuff, so we can't stop it from doing that. It's going to do it. But if you could make sure you always sleep, you're fairly slim at the head of the bed, at least this high, but never eat or drink anything for at least 2 hours before you decide to go to sleep. So, you know, if your mouth is dry, which it probably is from the oxygen and everything else, just, there's something called biotin that you can use, or you can just take a little tiny sip of water, just use it to wet your mouth, as opposed to knocking back a whole sit in your esophagus, and it's going to end up in your lungs, because your lungs have really gotten dramatically worse since I went back to about 2010, looking at your CT scans. And every year they've gotten a lot worse, and most of the damage is at the bottom of the lungs. And they're basically doing everything they can to try and keep you alive and keep you going until they can get a transplant for you, because with your high PRA, with your antibodies, it's really hard for them to get a donor for you, as you know. Yeah, that's why you're having all of this pheresis and stuff done right now. Now, it looks like you've also got a little cold virus as well. Has that affected you? Have you had a sore throat or a cough or?
No, I didn't even know I had that.
A lot of that, because the lung disease you have is not one that causes mucus production.
No, it's not?
No.
I thought it was.
No, it's not. So that mucus is actually coming from your airways because you're aspirating, okay? The lung disease that you have just affects the lung tissue. It doesn't usually affect the airways. The mucus is made in the airways. So what that's telling us is you've got a lot of airway inflammation, and that's probably coming from aspiration. Things going down the wrong way into your airways, which is also probably why your lungs are so much worse at the bottom than they are at the top. So I'm going to have a little listen to you. More that we could or should do about the pulmonary hypertension aspect of things. And your pressures from the heart cath the other day are actually a little bit better than what they were, okay? I'm not sure that we can make them a lot better by making you take more expensive medicines that are awkward to take. Because the next one would be an inhaled medicine that you have to take 4 times a day. And it's not like just a little puffer. It's a machine that you have to fill with liquid. And it's not that hard to do, but it's...
Oh, that's my hair.
I figured it was either that or a cat.
Surprised you didn't jump.
Christmas and a happy New Year. A happy New Year.